I'm going to be talking a little bit about investing. I'm going to be talking a little bit about goal setting. I'm going to be talking a little bit about the why behind why I personally do what I do, and then also kind of help each of us kind of start defining the whys of why we are interested in financial independence, why we're interested in real estate, why we're interested in investing, why we're here. So just a little bit about me. I know a lot of you do know me already. My name is Michael Haas. Me and Jess Haas run this HouseHack Seattle team. We're married 11 years now. This is an old slide. And we have 2 kids, Charlie and Juniper. We are 4-time serial house hackers. We're on our 4th house hack here in North Beacon Hill. We also do BRRRR investing, development. We built new construction homes, DADUs, short-term rentals, cabins up in the mountains. We recently reached a point that I am affectionately calling dumpster fire, where we are financially independent, but our life is not quite in order yet. So we've got the finance side down. We need to get everything else down now. But we own 13 rental properties and make about $50,000 a month in gross rental income from those 13 properties. Been doing this for about 8 years, so it's a good example of how quickly you can scale up if you're really diligently are buying properties every single year and investing in real estate. It's been a good 8 years to invest in real estate, so your results may vary. But I'm always happy to chat more about how we got there, which I'll touch on briefly today. So today I wanted to talk about just 4 principles that have helped me as a parent, as a father, as a real estate investor, and really kind of setting goals and figuring out why to invest in real estate and develop a little bit of a roadmap for investing and then by extension our life and our business that is valuable for us to make sure that we're moving towards our goals. Life is short, and unfortunately many of us feel a little aimless at times. So it's helpful to have that goal, that North Star that you're moving towards, so that all these actions, all this hard work you're doing is actually moving it closer to something that matters. So those 4 principles, first I'm going to share one exercise to try and reform your relationship with money a little bit. This is something that I try and do every year. It's called the Millionaire's List. Next, I'm going to share why having a purpose is better than just scoreboarding, beating people for the sake of beating people, having more money for the sake of having more money. I grew up playing Pokemon on the Game Boy. I'm going to share why Magikarp, my favorite Pokemon, can teach us about investing and the snowball effect. And then finally, I'm going to share one of my methods for avoiding burnout, taking consistent action, and something that you can take away today and start right away. So it's worth mentioning, right, that when I share my intro and when I talk about the properties that we have, it does sound like we have everything together. And the reality is very different, right? A lot of these things that I'm going to talk about today, the reason I'm going to talk about them is they're things that I have struggled in with my life, I've struggled in with my business. The reason that I feel equipped to teach them is not because I learned them naturally, it's not because I'm good at them, it's because I've had to teach myself these principles over and over and over again. So I'm happy to try and share that with you. So first up, everybody take out your phone, and then you can do this one of 2 ways. I'm going to have you make a short list. You could do it on a notes app, you could email it to yourself, you could text it to a significant other, or you can DM us at HouseHack Seattle on Instagram with this list. It'll be short. What I'd like to do is have us write down, and I'll give you about 3 minutes to do it, write down 3 to 5 things that you would do if you won the lottery. So if you became a money millionaire, or nowadays even a money billionaire, some of the lotteries, what would you do with that money, and how much would those items cost? And then next, if you were a time millionaire, right? If you figured out the secret to life and health and you lived 300 years long, what are the things that you would do with all those years of your life? Write down a couple of those things, and then write down about how long you think it would take you to complete that. So I'll give you guys like 2 or 3 minutes. I'll write it down as well. And then I may call on some people if you're feeling brave. So if you like yours, raise your hand. If no one raises their hand, I'll just start pointing at people. 3 to 5 things if you had almost unlimited money, 3 to 5 things if you had almost unlimited time, and then how much money you think those things would cost you, how much time you think those things would take. It's okay if you get less than 3. The point is more to figure out what you really want than to make stuff up that you want just to hit your 3 to 5 quota. Okay. All right. I was actually doing it. Okay.
Write it and send it.
Yeah. I was sending it to HouseHack Seattle, so now everyone knows mine. I'll share mine first, and then if anyone wants to share theirs, I'd love to hear it. So my money ones, I really like massages. I work in a relatively high-stress job and industry, so I find them relaxing. Seattle's expensive, so that's maybe $150 if I want to do a weekly massage every week, so maybe $600 a month. I love the water, so for me that could be a waterfront home with a dock, which would be millions of dollars in Seattle, or it could be what we currently have, which is a boat share membership for about $700 a month. And then I really enjoy travel, specifically travel where I have someone else to watch our children during the day. So for travel with childcare, probably about $8,000 a month is a good budget for that. So essentially my monthly budget here is around about $9,500 a month if I was traveling the whole time, which I wouldn't be. My ideal world, I might travel 3 months of the year and then be in Seattle the remaining 9 months. So in reality, like per year, I'm probably $25,000 for travel, and then I'm probably boat plus massage, $1,500 a month. So I'm another $18,000 for that. So my millionaire life, if I won the lottery, is going to cost me $42,000 a year. I'm curious if anyone else wants to share either their time millionaire or their money millionaire, and if they can total it up about how much it would cost. I'd love to hear it. Who's feeling brave? Yeah, you.
I don't think I have a cost, but I think the first thing, my husband and I would feel less pressure and we would have kids right away. And then number 2, we would find a babysitter and travel the world together, the whole family, including our dogs.
Okay.
And then 3, I think we would retire both our parents and
Nice.
have them travel with us.
Love
Yeah,
it.
I think simple, but that's our goals.
Nice. Yeah, thanks, Uni.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess besides the retire your parents item, which, I mean, depending on where they live, might not actually be that expensive. I would guess that your budget is a little bit higher than mine, but not substantially.
We're from New York, so it's a lot.
10 grand a month for each of your parents. You might be closer to $250,000 a year, 300, but still not win the lottery kind of money. Anyone else feel like sharing either their time or their money? Yeah,
Sure.
feel it.
I'll do the money one. So
dream car's always been a Gemera Koenigsegg, which is like 1.3 mil, I think, 1.4. Yeah, it's definitely up there if we're just going on 1 year. Maybe over the course of some years it gets less per
You're
year.
gonna drive that for at least 15 years.
Oh yeah.
You'll run it into the ground.
And then I also would love to have like a private jet and a private pilot, because then at that point you kind of just travel wherever you want.
Yeah.
So,
That's true. You really need multiple lotteries.
yeah, I was gonna say that might be a couple lotteries at that point.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I don't know what we're doing on our monthly at that point. But
Yeah.
that's a lot. I mean, just retaining the pilot. I haven't been in the budget though. I don't know
Yeah.
what that costs.
Yeah, I'd say maybe what do you think? $5 million for a private plane plus
Yeah, probably.
yeah, $300,000 a year for your pilot
Yeah.
plus so you're $4.5 million maybe. But still, I mean, there are definitely lotteries that are significantly bigger than that. So I mean, the point of this exercise is that money is one of those things that we always feel like we don't have enough of, even if we have quite a bit of it. So it's helpful to, rather than just accumulating more money for the sake of having more money, figure out what your goals are, whether it's lifestyle, what have you. Try and actually ascribe numbers to that, and then set a goalpost based on that. And I think the reality is that some of us, like Caleb, have lofty goals and expensive tastes, and some of us, like me, have less lofty goals, besides maybe the waterfront home. I mean, that might be $6 million on Mercer Island. But the point of this is to realize that if we had unlimited amounts of money, we actually still wouldn't spend that much. And I don't know if it's a lack of creativity or just the fact that we're actually content with less than we realize that we are. But doing this exercise makes you realize that you don't actually need unlimited money, right? You actually do have a finite number that you would hit, and after that point, you would have trouble deciding what to do with those additional dollars. So as far as kind of work-life balance and setting goals go, figuring out what that number is and figuring out when you get there, what you're going to do, is extremely helpful. So that's my millionaires list. That's a good way to kind of, as you grow and as you set goals, figure out exactly where you're going and figure out when you need to slow down and reprioritize and focus on what matters, because you have enough money to do what you want. Next up, this kind of leads me into purpose versus scoreboarding. As I've invested more in real estate, I have spent less time with my friends from college who are very content with their W-2 jobs and either renting or owning their singular house, and spent more time with other investors like Thatch Wynn, that has hundreds of properties, and folks that are even farther along in their investing journey than I am, that have even more millions of dollars than I am. And as you start to spend time with different folks, your barometer for what is success can change. So it's helpful to make that list, that millionaires list, from time to time, because as you grow and as you excel, you'll naturally start engaging with people that are even more successful. That's just how success works. And if you don't kind of center yourself on what you're actually trying to achieve, it can be tempting to get on a similar rat race to the one that you left, and just trying to always be taking one step farther and competing with people that are one step farther than you. And the point of this is to kind of bring back to your goal and your purpose, and make sure that if you are working hard, it's for a purpose. For me, that purpose is legacy. So that's for my kids, right? I want my kids to be financially literate. I want my kids to be successful. I want my kids to have the ability to pursue their dreams and not worry about whether they have enough money to do so. And then also I want to leave a legacy not just for my family, but in the world. For me, that is like a business legacy. This company that I started, HouseHack Seattle, is very important to me, and even if I had enough money to do all the things I wanted, I would still want that company to be successful, because I like the mission here that we have. Our mission at HouseHack Seattle is to help people earn passive income that they need so that they can spend more time that they want with the people that they love. That's something I'm passionate about, even if I don't need money from this business. All right, my third principle. This one, I'm gonna switch gears here a little bit. The first two principles, I talked a lot about goal setting. I talked a lot about setting a why and figuring out, once you are making money, how much you need to make, and making sure that if you are working hard, that you're working towards a goal, not just working towards a scoreboard where you're trying to beat people and have more and more and more. This third principle has a lot more to do with how to get there. So I'm not talking about the money that you already have. I'm talking about how to build wealth and in real estate. So Magikarp was always my favorite Pokemon in the Game Boy games. If you ever played them, you know that Magikarp is completely useless. He has no ability to attack anyone. He has one move, it's called Splash. It does no damage. It's a joke. And Magikarp is the definition of delayed gratification, right? It is completely useless early on, but if you put in the work and train Magikarp, he eventually turns into Gyarados, which is one of the coolest Pokemon in the whole world. And that principle, I think, is really valuable for us as we think about investing and as we think about delayed gratification. And the principle is that as you are training your way up to reach a lofty goal, it may look like you are less successful than your peers. It may look like you're actually losing, not winning. But just like Magikarp transforming into Gyarados, oftentimes the most successful people are the people that take that put in the time, that put in the work, and that are willing to do that delayed gratification. And what that looks like in investing, right? I have a couple of charts up here. I'm using the investing in the stock market, not investing in real estate, but the example works both ways. Here on the left, we have a chart where it shows different people at different ages investing just $1,000 one time into the stock market. And you can see it's a lot easier to invest $1,000 when you're 60 years old. You have a lot more time to earn that money. You have a lot more savings. It probably hurts a lot less to make that investment, but you can see that at 60, investing $1,000 doesn't get you very far. But as a 20-year-old, $1,000 may be very hard to come by. It may take months of savings to get there. It may be difficult and it may involve sacrifices that many of your peers are not willing to make. But you look at the effect of that $1,000 investment at 20, and you'll have $72,000 if you extrapolate out stock market returns at 65. So just like Magikarp turning into Gyarados, oftentimes the people that take action early, that are willing to delay gratification, have the most successful results. We can see that here. If your goal is to have more time, a next step might be to hire a property manager for your rentals. Or if you have no rentals, hire a house cleaner or a personal assistant. And all these goals are big, lofty goals, and it can feel terrifying to think about how you can replace your $100,000 a year tech job and quit. But finding that next $100 is very doable, is very achievable, and has a clear next step. So breaking it down into the possible next steps, for me, has been what's kept me going, and also what's prevented burnout, right? One of the dangers of these lofty goals is that as you work towards them, it can be exhausting, right? It's a multi-year stretch. And by breaking them down into simple next steps, it also kind of helps your brain grapple with these big, lofty, audacious goals and not get overwhelmed by the big picture, but focus on each little action that you can take today to move you closer.